You're working, you're earning, and somehow every 2 weeks, the money is just gone. Not because you're spending like crazy, not because you're irresponsible. Your paycheck is lying to you, and nobody ever showed you why. Most people think living paycheck to paycheck is a money problem. It's not. It's a systems problem. And the system most of us are using, we didn't even choose it. We inherited it. Nobody sat us down and said, here's exactly where your money should go the second it hits your account. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact 3-account paycheck architecture that stops money from disappearing before you can use it. So you can start building instead of just surviving. I've spent the last 10 years studying why so many people earning $45,000 feel financially ahead, and others earning $90,000 still feel broke every month. The difference is almost never the income. It's almost always the architecture. I used to get paid on Friday and feel broke up by Tuesday, not because I was irresponsible. Once I found the system I'm about to show you, that changed completely. Have you ever checked your bank account mid-month and felt confused? Like, you got paid, you didn't do anything crazy that month, but the numbers just didn't add up? Here's the truth. Most people who feel broke aren't actually broke. Think about someone earning $55,000 a year. That's roughly $4,200 a month after basic taxes. That's not nothing. That's real money. And yet a huge chunk of people at that income level feel like they're always running out. Why? Not because $4,200 isn't enough to work with, but because the money lands in an account and just sits there and gets eaten by whatever shows up next. Car insurance hits, random Uber rides, a birthday dinner that comes out of nowhere, Amazon order you forgot about. And before you realize it, the account is at $80 and it's 10 days until the next paycheck. That's not a spending problem. That's a structure problem. Between those two modes, between surviving and building, is almost entirely about our architecture. Most financial advice skips this. They jump straight to invest in the Roth IRA or cut your subscriptions. But if your paycheck system is broken, none of that advanced stuff will stick. You'll invest $200 here and there and then pull it out 3 weeks later. Why? Because an emergency hit your account. One account is not a system. One account is waiting room where money sits until something takes it. A real system separates money by purpose. The 3-account paycheck architecture. The system I'm about to show you uses 3 accounts. That's it. Not a complicated app, not a 47 category budget spreadsheet. 3 accounts, each with one job. Account 1, your flow account. This is where your paycheck lands and where your bills live. Then there's account 2, your float account. This is your buffer, the money that makes you feel safe. Account 3, your build account. This is where wealth actually starts. The moment your paycheck hits, money moves. Not when you remember, automatically the day it lands. Here's where most people get this wrong. They think you need to be earning a lot to have this system. You absolutely don't. The point, not the dollar amount. The point isn't to shame anyone for spending. The point is, if the money doesn't move automatically, it will get spent every time, because life will always find a use for unallocated money. If you don't tell your money where to go before it lands, it will go wherever it feels urgent. So this is the move. On the day your paycheck hits, you have a money move that takes 10 minutes max. You set it up once, automate it, and then your system runs itself. Here's what that split looks like at different income levels. So you're going to have a monthly take home, the flow of bills, right? So you have monthly take home of $2,500, $3,500, and $5,000. Now, the flow of bills usually should be around 70% or 1750, 65%, 2275, and 60% at 3,000. Then notice the float buffer. Then you have 20% $500, 20% $700, and if you're making 5,000 monthly take home, should be around $1,000. The build wealth portion should be the other remaining amount. So 10%, 15%, 20%. The build percentage grows as your income grows. The handles life. You start wherever your income allows. 10% is enough to start. Habit is more important than the actual amount. By the way, setting this up manually is fine, but the place most people get stuck is actually tracking which account holds what. If you want to automate the whole thing without spreadsheets, I would use YNAB. It lets you do exactly this. You connect your accounts, set your split percentages, and it moves money automatically on payday. I'll link it below. The float account, your most underrated asset. Let's talk about the float account because this is the one most people skip. And it's the reason their whole system eventually collapses. The float account has one job. Make sure you never pull from your build account. Most financial advice tells you to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. What nobody explains is that you need 2 layers of buffer, a small one that covers month to month and a bigger one that covers actual emergencies. Your float account is that first layer. It should hold 1 full month of your flow expenses, roughly $1,500 to $3,000 for most people. Here's the math that blew my mind when I first saw it. Let's say you have $2,000 in your float account and it sits in a high yield saving account of 4.5%, which you can get right now with most online banks. $2,000 earns you $90 a year just for existing. That's not changing money, but here's what is. $2,000 means you never touch your account. When the car breaks down or the dental bill hits, could mean tens of thousands of dollars more in 10 years, thanks to compounding growth. The float account doesn't build wealth directly. It protects wealth from being destroyed before it starts. Rule number 3, float account isn't savings, it's armor. Take the hit so your build account doesn't have to 1 month of expenses before you do anything else with the build account. That's your first real milestone in this whole system. The last piece of this system is the concept I call one paycheck ahead. And this is where the switch from surviving to building really happens. Right now, most people are spending the paycheck. This week's bill get paid with this week's deposit. That's called living at zero. Your income and your expenses are perfectly synchronized, which sounds fine until something slightly goes wrong. One paycheck ahead means your bills for this month are covered by last month's paycheck. This month's next month's expenses. I know what you're thinking, George. That requires having an extra paycheck just sitting there. I don't have that. You're right. This takes time to get to. But here's why it matters so much. When you're one paycheck ahead, you stop making reactive money decisions. Pay this late and pay double next month. You stop pulling from savings from things that are actually predictable. You stop the stress that makes you make those bad decisions and spend more, not less. Because financial stress is real and it literally costs money through the decisions it causes. How to get there 3 to 4 months into your float account until it holds 1 full month of your bills. Once it does, your paycheck system is officially 1 whole month ahead. It usually takes 3 to 5 months on a consistent system. And once you get there, go back. Because the feeling of being a full month ahead financially is genuinely calming in a way that's hard to describe until you finally experience it. So you've got the system. 3 accounts, 1 job, 1 paycheck ahead is the goal. Now here's how to start. And it's simpler than you think. The mistake people make is trying to set up the whole thing perfectly before starting. They spend 3 weeks researching the best high yield savings accounts, the best budgeting apps, the perfect split percentages, and then don't actually move any money at all. They get stuck. Don't do that. Start imperfect today. Here's your first move this week. Open one new savings account. Name it Float. Transfer $50 into it. That's it. You've started the system. The $50 isn't the point. The account is. The habit of separating money by starting, that momentum of $50 starts to move you. Next paycheck, move $100. Paycheck that, set it on automatic transfer. Month by month, you'll have an account that's growing and on autopilot. Your build account has officially opened. You're not behind because you lack discipline. You're behind because you were handed a broken system and nobody explained it to you. Your job now is to build the right one. Open the account this week. Move the $50. That's the beginning. And if you want to know exactly what goes into the build account once your flow account is set up, what to invest in first, or the order of operations starting from zero, that's what this channel is all about. So subscribe and go take a look at this video.